I am getting a little bit antsy because, first of all, we're losing light. Second of all, we are now outside of artillery range. We got to get out of there.
We have to move out of here because they're coming. And we don't have time.
I went to the Major Nyaw, his name was, and I said, Major, we have got to get out of here now.
There he is.
We have extraordinary people looking for stills and archival footage and music and all the elements that make up our series. They are all really committed to finding material that is not only accurate and relevant, but they all have creative, artistic minds and eyes, and we're really good as a team.
There are literally 25,000 photographs that were pulled into our system. It's an enormous archivist's job to keep track.
One of our interviewees, his name is Philip Brady, said, I will tell you my story if you can find this photo that ran in Perry Match. They found that the source was AP, and they called AP, and AP said, yeah, it ran, but we don't have it anymore. We can't find it. We're so sorry. And I thought, well, can we actually go back into your archive, have us look at the folders? Because we feel like maybe if we could just look. And lo and behold, there was a folder called Advisors, and Phil Brady was a Marine advisor. We looked through and we found actually 3 photographs of Phil Brady, 2 of which had never been seen before, had never been published, and they're in the film.
What we have is kind of 2 parallel tracks in which research and the collection of material is ongoing, and we have writing in the other track, which is ongoing.
I can't believe I've been lucky enough to work with Jeff Ward for all these years. I can't imagine doing a film like this without him. I don't think it would actually be possible.
We don't want to stop. We just want to make it better.
Rolling.
Today, we are extremely lucky to be recording music with Yo-Yo Ma and the Silk Road Ensemble. It's just such a privilege to work with these musicians.
Working with Silk Road is such an incredible joy for me because these are people who are like brothers and sisters. And I think what musicians specialize in doing is to actually locate emotions and even the juxtaposition of different types of emotions in one thing. So by doing like a wounded soldier, for example, in 6 different ways, there's so many ways you can show that.
As many as 230,000 teenagers, many of them volunteers, worked to keep the roads open and the traffic moving. More than half of them were women. Lei Ming Kuei, who had left her home in the North with a novel by Ernest Hemingway in her backpack, observed her 17th birthday on the trail.
Tất cả mọi người phải chịu đựng như thế. Rừng thì ẩm ướt, bom đạn ngày đêm như thế. Phụ nữ chúng ta thì phải như thế nào mới có thể sống được. Thì lúc đấy là chúng tôi nghĩ là khủng khiếp lắm.
We brought all our editors with us, and you can see them taking a take in their own mind and pulling out a piece of music that was sort of in there and putting this back in and having it be something.
Ultimately, the music is going to come from a variety of places. Some of them are very well-known tunes, like there's a lullaby that is very much really all known in Vietnam. And other pieces are tunes that we try and show in different ways.
I went to the movies and I saw a film, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And I found myself sitting there, mostly listening to the music and thinking that is exactly what we want for our film in Vietnam. It's this constant state of tension. I stayed to watch the credits and I saw the music was done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
I got a call from my manager who said Ken Burns and Lynn Novick have reached out about a new massive project they're working on about the Vietnam War, and we're wondering if you would like to be involved in composing in that. And I just cut him off and said, for sure, we wouldn't be involved in that.
Their music is an extraordinary combination of a kind of cold, metallic, electronic sound mitigated by this incredibly beautiful melodic sensibility.
Somewhere around 80% of our casualties came from landmines of all sorts. In Vietnam, for me, just to get up in the morning and look out at the land and think, in a few minutes, I'll be walking out there, and will my corpse be there or there?
It's always nerve-wracking handing off a lot of music, but I was amazed at how sophisticated it was, how it goes from music that we might have created to music of the era, stuff Yo-Yo Ma did. It was mind-blowing.
Long time ago, a crazy dream came to me. I dreamt I was walking in World War III.
The music of this era, the Vietnam War era, is iconic. We knew we would be including some very important and recognizable music.
This is the best music in American history, you could argue. We have Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and Neil Young and Bob Dylan, and I think it was important to the artists and to the record companies that if we're in 1968 in our film, we're not going to play a piece of music that came out in 1972.
You can just bring them down even more to give. This is one of the most exhilarating and difficult and bittersweet parts of the whole process. This is mixing.
Saigon's troops would gradually take over responsibility for engaging the enemy.
I'm putting reverb on.
Okay, good, yeah.
Good.
I think the series has a very different sound than the other work we've done, and I attribute that mostly to the genius of our editors and sound editors.
Okay, well, you'll do the timing.
Each editor has their own personality. Each editor has their own interests in music and in stories that they like to tell. And so each one has brought their own particular genius to their episodes.
There are 4 editors and 10 shows. The producers just give it some thought. Who would be good for the show?
I think sound is important in every story. It's the other half. Without that full sound effect feeling, it's just one step shy of being real.
We're coming up to Kent State here in episode 8, and people seem to be reacting very strongly to the Kent State scene.
I held it in pretty much really well up until Kent State. And I just lost it, and I actually had to leave the studio and walk around for 10 minutes just to collect myself.
That just symbolized for me what this war was doing to our culture. These were kids on both sides. Young National Guard boys who had very little training and probably scared and not well led, and young men and women on the other side protesting the war out there for, idealistic reasons. And look at what happens when we let things get as bad as they got.